Welcome to my channel, everyone. In this video we are going to talk about Render, TAO, Kaspa and ONDO. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. Why is it going to get excited? Because the price moved exactly how we predicted it a week ago. So what did we say about Render? Let's just jump into Render. For Render we have said that at the $3.93 we should see a bounce. From there we should sell off. And once we broke the $3.90 to the downside, we activated an rising wedge in bright blue. Target $3.34. We had another pattern on the chart, this double top pattern, which also broke to the downside, and we even got our retest, breakout, retest of the $3.74. Target also $3.34. Where did we go? $3.33. So basically into our support box. So far everything is exactly as predicted. We have also in the chart that we should see a major push to the downside. I don't think that this is going to happen now. We are currently in support areas for all of the coins. We hit the targets of our chart patterns, of our bearish chart patterns, which we had on our chart 1 or 2 weeks ago even. We went into all of those targets almost. Yeah. So basically, if we look into the RSI, bullish divergence. Higher low in the RSI, lower low in the chart. If we now go into the 4-hour chart, then you can see also here slightly higher low, but here lower low in the chart, also bullish divergence. We are also near to an oversold area, so even if we break this bullish divergence to the downside on the 4-hour chart, then we would be still oversold and should see a bounce. That's why I'm currently in long positions for Render. In my opinion, this fair value gap, which we see up here at the price mark of round about $3.08, this is going to be my target. And the question is how we get up. Yeah, if we are going to get corrective, and I even think that the price movement which we are going to see should be corrective. With a high chance. Yeah, we don't know it yet because we are missing the data. If we then see a rising wedge, for example, then we can get out of our long trades and get into short trades once it breaks to the downside. But just hear me out. We are currently in a downtrend. But the fair value gap which I'm reaching for is round about 13 to 15% away from us. So why should I wait until we get into that area? And what if we are impulsive? What if my scenario which I have drew here, where we are getting far lower prices, what if this is going to get invalidated? What if we get an impulsive push, get a bull flag or something, which we break to the upside, and then we can see far higher prices for Render, even over the tops right here? Can happen. We don't know it because we are not living in the future. So that's why I'm taking long positions. In the worst case scenario, we are just going to get a corrective movement to the upside, and I can use a breakdown as exit of my long positions. Take some profits at $3.80. This is still, I showed you that, 13% without leverage. Now put leverage on it. And what I'm going to do is, it is currently difficult to find good spots where we can increase our position size. I would go for this one right here. Yeah, I'm analyzing a bit different the charts. Yeah, I'm not drawing support and resistance trend lines because I have it here with my mouse. On the left side, right side, up, down, I have those lines. So basically I can use it. I'm actually not drawing it for you for YouTube, so you can see it better. I'm always drawing it. Anyway, in the end of the day, if the $3.54 breaks to the upside, here is also $3.54. Damn, why did I even do it? I can just take this one right here. Then I would increase my position size. I can also, if I want to play a bit more risky, but then I also have to keep in mind that, let me do it perfectly. So this one right here, I will give you the price mark. $3.45. This is a bit more speculative. So if I decide, or let's say if I don't have a long position and I want to be a bit more speculative, where I say, okay, I'm getting into a long position, $3.45, once we break it to the upside, once we get our retest, and once we break the $3.54 to the upside, get our retest, and I can increase my position size, I can even double up my position size, then my average price should be here between those two price marks, and I can set my stop loss to break even and can try to ride this wave. Very speculative, because we can still get over it and can still sell off. But once the $3.54 breaks to the upside, then in my opinion, we should see the $3.80 with a very high chance, because the resistance which we have is not a small resistance. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touch points. I can make it here longer. Then you can see here another touch point. Here also many touch points. So breaking the $3.54 would be very, very positive. There I would say, once we break to the upside, highest chance that we should see the $3.80 at least. Even though I don't care if we are corrective on the way up, I don't care if we are impulsive on the way up, $3.80 should be safe in my opinion. And then we can see if we are going to continuing this up movement, or if we are going to sell off into, for example, the $2.50 for render. If we now look over TAO, then we have said for TAO, yeah, we had our bullish chart pattern which broke to the upside, got its retest, but we have said the overall crypto market looks bearish. Target $375 to $386. So far we hit this target. Yeah, we just very on the lower part of it, not on the upper part, but we hit this target. Afterwards we have said $355 once they break to the downside would be negative. But once we break the $345 to the downside, which we have done right here, first retest, second retest, third retest. Afterwards, the target is going to be $288. Where did the price go? $290. So we were $1 close to it. Still a perfect analysis in my opinion. Yeah, we can't be 100% perfect, but in this case, this was still exactly as predicted. Like I said, I'm long for every single coin right now. And I would use, because this is here, a bit bigger resistance on the short term, on the short time frame, $305. Once we break it to the upside, then I would increase my position size for TAO. Then I can look for different kind of trend lines. Once they break to the upside, this would be very speculative then. For example, $312. Once I break to the upside, I can increase even my position size more for TAO. But I actually want to go at least into the fair value gap between $330 to $335. Here are the price marks. And from the current price, I'm not taking the low here, just from the current price, it can still be 10% to 12%. So there is always the chance that we get an impulsive push to the upside, and we can even reach for higher prices than $335. That's what we have to see. Like for the other coins, we have, like I said, for the other coins, we have to look for the structure to the upside. If it's going to be bearish overlapping, then we are going to take profits at $330, $335. This is still 10% without leverage. If we are going to get impulsive to the upside, then why should I leave my long trades? Then I even increase my long trades for even far higher prices. Also, what I also like to use is funding rates. Can we see it in this area right here? So 0.01% funding rate is healthy. Everything lower than that is overshorted. We have a 0.006%, so it's lower than 0.01%. We are far overshorted. Also, we had here negative funding rates. So basically, short sellers have to pay long buyers once we are in the negative area. But here I would also say we hit the target. We have a bullish divergence on the 1 hour chart. We can look into the 4 hour chart. Here also a huge bullish divergence. Higher low in the RSI, lower low in the chart. Don't get irritated because of this one right here. This is just a trend line. This is not a candle. I would just make it orange so you can see it. So basically, what can I say about TAO? We should see a bounce very soon. And this is the bounce which I want to trade. I actually don't like to trade bounces, but a bounce in 2 digits in percentages, so everything over 10% or even 8% is a nice bounce. If I see those kinds of bounce are possible with a very high chance, then for sure I'm getting into some trades. And often, if the bounce is very overlapping and corrective and slow, then we have good chances to even increase our position size. So sometimes corrective movements, small bounces, are more profitable than impulsive pushes, because within impulsive pushes we are not able to scale up because the market moves far too fast. And if we see, for example, let's just say we are going short. If we see this kind of movement, where do we want to get into a short position? Because a few hours later the price is just going to move to the upside. But if it's going to get overlapping, slow, then we can always draw new trend lines which we're going to break to the upside, and then we can double up again, and we can double up again. There we can even make more profits, in my opinion. If we now look over Kaspa, Kaspa didn't hit the target perfectly, 7.3 cents. This was our target. Yeah, it looks messy, I know. 8.1 cents. This was the trend line where we have said once it breaks to the downside, 7.3 cents is going to get the target, even with the high chance seeing the fair value gap. So far, bullish divergence on the 4-hour chart. On the 1-hour chart, we also have bullish divergences, so higher lows in the RSI, lower lows in the chart. For Kaspa, I can even imagine that we are not going to see the fair value gap down below here, which is between 6.8 cents to 7.1 cents. Here are the two price marks. Since we also formed, but first let me delete something. So we have drew it right here, that we should sell off, get a small bounce, sell off more. Good predicted in my opinion. But this looks to me like falling wedge. So we get our first bullish chart pattern. We have to see where we are going to increase our position size for Kaspa. It also depends on how the other coins are going to perform. But once we see nice breakouts, then we can even say that Kaspa can see prices up to 8.9 cents. This is the most bullish case. But we also have to say 8.6 cents would be actually a nice target, because from here we are still talking about 14% to the upside from the current price mark. If we are going to sell more to the downside, then for sure here are more gains to make over the time. So what about ONDO? ONDO also exactly as predicted, just a small mistake. We have said that we are going to see a small bounce, but the bounce we have said should be the $1.47. And at the end of the day, we just went to $1.03. So basically, we never can't be 100% perfect, not with every single movement, not with the small movements, but with the bigger movement, we were right. We have said if the $1 breaks to the downside, let me take this one also out of the chart, breakout, retest. 87 cents is going to get the target. We also have a support box at 85 cents. Just Only if we are going to lose this box, which is currently at 84.4 cents, then it's going to get very bearish, and then I would even say, okay, those price marks should get hit. But as long as we don't break it to the downside, also here, bullish divergence on the 1 hour chart. Also here, bullish divergences on the 4 hour chart. Like I said before, don't get irritated by those red trend lines. So I can still expect where is it? Right here. That we are going to see a price movement in this area right here, so $1. If we just take it from the current price mark, it can still be 15% to the upside. And we also have to say here, we have to see if we are going to be able to scale up at certain price marks, resistance areas, trend lines, which we then break to the upside. Here's an interesting one. I will give you here the price mark, 89 cents. If it breaks to the upside, if I don't have a long position, then I could get into one right there. If I already have one, and if my entry is very good, then I can even scale up right here. Otherwise, I have to wait for those tops breaking to the upside, price mark 94.5 cents. Then it's also long to me where I increase my position size into the price mark of $1. And also here's the chance that we are going to break the $1 to the upside and then maybe see the $1.13 again. So with that said, everything looks bullish to me, even though we sold off that much. But the whole price movement to the downside, we have already predicted it 1 or 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it depends on the coin. Some coins we have said 2 weeks ago that we should sell in certain areas. For some coins, we developed the chart pattern last week. We got our breakouts. We got into all of our targets. We currently from the bearish side. And now we are oversold in the RSI on the bigger time frame. Now we have bullish divergences. And yeah, we just have to wait until we break to the upside. I'm currently in long positions for all of the coins, so I'm going to see what is going to happen. And I just hope for a nice structure which I can trade in the future. And this is what I'm going to show you in the next days once we see the data. With that said, we see each other tomorrow, and I hope you get some profitable trades.